In the year of 1612, in the half-forgotten principality of Rovenstall, hidden among the mists of what is now southern Germany, beauty was not a gift. It was a curse, a brand, a signal fire to the envious and the devout. In this place, there was no admiration without accusation. For when a woman was too comely, too symmetrical, too untouched by illness or age, the question was not who she was, but what she had done to look that way. Rovenstall's court documents barely preserved and the cathedral sealed. Crypts refer to the Ashen Trials, a series of prosecutions that would, in just 6 winters, claim the lives of 72 women burned not for crime, nor for heresy, but for their faces. This is not legend, it is not superstition, it is bureaucracy. Women were measured by eye color and bone structure. Their reflections were judged in still water, their skin examined for unholy smoothness, a term coined by Father Lucas Mendel, the High Inquisitor of Rovenstall, who wrote in his journals, "Satin seduces the soul not through violence, but through radiance. Where beauty exceeds nature, there too lies the devil's brush." And in the center of this grotesque gallery of victims was a name whispered with fear and desire alike, Evelyne Rauch. She was 17 when the first accusations were spoken. She had never been seen with powder or paint. Her hair, a deep copper that seemed to glow even under gray skies, was said to move even when the wind stood still. Her eyes gray-green and wide-made, the wives of nobles crossed themselves, and the blacksmith's apprentices dream with guilt. She did nothing. That was the horror. She smiled, she sang. She walked through the market and bought bread, and so they watched her. Because in Rovenstall, a woman who did not ask to be admired was accused of enticing. The records say it began with mirrors. One morning, every polished surface in the house of Councilman Riedel shattered. Not broken, shattered, as if struck from inside. His wife, Greta, claimed she'd seen the girl's face in the mirror the night before, though Evelyne had never entered their home. She looked at me through the glass, Greta wrote in a statement, and my reflection blinked before I did. It was enough. The town bell rang cold at noon. They brought Evelyne to the steps of the church, draped in a black cloak to conceal the crowd's hunger. Witnesses were called not to speak of crimes, but of feelings. "She made me uneasy," said one matron. "She looked at my husband too long," said another. "She looked at no one, and that's what frightened me," said a third. Beauty, they argued, was not a condition. It was a weapon, and Evelyne had aimed it without speaking. Father Mendel declared that external perfection could only come from internal corruption. To be so physically flawless in a world of plagues and famine, he reasoned, was to have bargained with a force darker than God. And so her trial began not of actions, but of appearance. Her image was sketched by court artists, her jawline debated by scholars, her silence interpreted as sorcery. But what none of them knew, what no one recorded, was that Evelyne did possess something unnatural, not evil, not infernal, but powerful. She had the ability to see not only how others looked at her, but why. She saw the hunger behind kindness, the hatred and admiration, the guilt wrapped inside desire. And she knew, from the moment the bell first rang, that they would kill her not because she was feared, but because they could never possess her. So she waited. She watched. And deep within her, something old began to wake. Not a demon, not a spell, but a rage quiet and symmetrical. Like her face,